My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is October 24th, 2025. It is 4:30 a.m. I'm in the middle of editing some of the videos that I recorded yesterday, but before I wake the kids up, I just want to get some of the recording out of the way, because once I finish edit whatever I'm editing, I have nothing else. So let's go on X. First tweet, this is it. Not news to those of us who've been paying attention. Virginia Giuffre's claims ABC nixed interview over access to William and Kate. A 2019 sit-down where Giuffre claims to have been trafficked to Andrew never aired. This headline, I think I covered it in one of the videos that I did yesterday. I did several. So this TikToker, I guess, is new to this, so she's covering it. So let's see what she has to say here. It's almost 2 minutes.
The fact that ABC canceled an interview with Virginia Giuffre over her claims that she was trafficked to Andrew because they didn't want to lose access to William and Kate proves that the royal family could have stopped the negative press about Harry and Meghan at any time they wanted to, but they never wanted to.
Okay, so that's a great angle of this topic here. One of the things that I raised about this is that at the time, it's on my old video, but I didn't say anything, but I just put it in terms of screenshot and things like that, the correlation. But anyway, at that time, when the palace wanted ABC to not air this, I think the president of ABC was a Brit. So they were able to, in my humble opinion, coerce the president of ABC to comply. So it's almost like the UK is running some of the things that's happening in the US. All right, but let's continue.
It proves the existence of the royal family's pact with the media over access to themselves. And it proves that they use certain members of the family to either bury or highlight other members of the family.
So one of the things the British royal family does is that in terms of hierarchy, to them, to the palace, men in grey suit, the royal family, Harry and Meghan were down social of whatever hierarchy. William is the key player for them. This is the one that the chosen one, pretty much. And then they already have issues with racism. And there's Harry. They had no respect for Harry in the first place because he's no longer the, I don't know, third in line after William. William already have his heirs, so they don't need Harry anymore. And Harry has a black American as a wife. So they had, these people, they don't have any feeling whatsoever. They are freaking robotic type of sentiment. There's no feeling. So using Harry and Meghan for anything of the rest of the blood royals, it was no brainer to them. Okay? So at that time, 2019, this, which was very important to talk about, they could have settled this a long time ago, settled in terms of the news was already out. It won't be a big deal to them right now because they let it be. They just do not want things to carry out naturally. They have to be in control and manipulated, and it always come back to bite them in the ass. So they're trying to control everything, but they do not want nature to do its course. And everything that they're facing, it's all of their making because they refuse to let things carry out naturally. All right, so let's continue. So Harry and Meghan were always gonna be thrown to the wolves.
The fact that Andrew has been able to live in the Royal Lodge without having paid rent for 22 years, while Harry and Meghan were evicted, but also were still paying rent and had renovated the place recently, proves that the crime of trafficking young girls is less important than the crime of telling the truth about your family, and the crime of being more popular than the senior members of your family. The fact that the public has subsidized a prince for 22 plus years, even though he didn't deserve it and he was liable for criminal actions, but the only people they talk about today, Meghan and Harry, are private citizens who live their own lives and make their own money. They're talking about Meghan and Harry more than they're talking about a subsidized, by taxpayer, prince. The double standard is insane, and it is too late for them to save face about any of this hypocrisy.
And the other thing as well, you would have thought, okay, this type of, well, it's been since forever. You would have thought that they would have changed and learned from it and don't do it again. But no, they continue. I've been saying this. They have people running in front of them, putting out the fire for them, and then they just keep on walking. And as they walk, they putting on the fire again. They do not know how to, I don't know, change. There's no word for them. They just do as they please without any care, and there is no consequences. There is no punishment. So this is why they continue doing their thing. And the thing as well, everything that's happening, the taxpayers are paying for it. Okay? So the UK better be careful, because the government and the royal family have done a lot of things outside of the country. And then it's the taxpayers that's funding these kind of things. And the same thing can be said as well with the US. But the thing is that the US, some of the people are fighting back against what the government is doing. Now, the US is in a big testing stage right now to see if things will change, because it has gotten worse. But the UK, on the other hand, there is no consequences. There is no punishment. The people continue doing things for centuries. Okay, and also with the UK, because they've been so masterful at their tactics, they have a way of shielding their behavior, doing it right in front of everybody, but in a subtle way, where people will not be able to point finger and say they did this, but they know how to manipulate and play mind games with people while they doing their barbaric behavior. All right. So the UK, this is why I said the UK is very masterful at psychology. So they've used their psychological type of warfare on people, including their own citizen. And they spread it outside of the world, outside of the country, throughout the world. Okay? So let's get back to the original recording. See some of the comments, and then, only one. This was reported years ago. They even have the reporter on tape complaining about it. Yeah. So this person probably just realized it, or, you know what? It's good that she brought it up, because I think she's new into this, into the Harry and Meghan thing. But whoever was following her on TikTok maybe is even in the blind completely. At least she's giving, spreading out the information. The squad knew about it. Okay? The squad already knew about this topic. All right, let's go to the next tweet. I think this is completely 360. I think it has to do with the Vatican. Is it? No, it's not. We will never forget. They're out. So, okay, so that's when Harry and Meghan were kicked out. And his end. That's when they, the Queen protecting him. The firm is protecting him. And he thought, he meaning Andrew, thought he was in the clear. But what the Queen did is just put a bandage on his stupidity. Alright? But here we go again. People are talking about it. Oh, so there's only one comment here. Imagine, and they thought they did something writing that, but it only backfired and confirmed what Prince Harry said is the truth. Bullseye. Alright, so only one comment response to it. So let's go to the next one. This is a video, and this is, I think, Charles and Camilla in Italy. Vatican said, oh my God, the squad are making fun of it. Go on my community board. There's some tweets. I've already put some screenshot on my community board. I'm not sure if I put them on the list as well. If I did, I probably forgot. Okay, did someone say Halloween party? 15 seconds. Oh my God.
This is Halloween. Everybody make a scene. Trick or treat till the neighbor's gonna die of fright.
Oh my God, I can't play the audio because I'll get I'll get flagged. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. It's playing again. Okay, how come she got out of a car? Where's her effing boomstick? A family member told her to park it around the back. There's that. That's cold. Damn. There's the laugh here. The black crows landed on the top of the concubine's head. She wanted attention. We see you, Camilla. Oh my Lord. Let's see here. A religious ceremony coming up. A matilla is a traditional lace or silk veil or shawl worn over a woman's head and shoulders, originating from Spain and commonly associated with Spanish and Latin American cultures. It's often secured with a high comb called a pianeta. I hope I pronounced it right, pianeta, and is typically worn for formal occasions like weddings, religious ceremonies such as during Holy Week processions, or flamenco performances. Matillas can vary in style from light and sheer to more ornate designs, and they symbolize elegance, modesty, and cultural heritage. Okay. That graceless cow seems to me our Jill pull it off effortlessly. So there's former First Lady. Then no, the Grim Reaper was making a physical appearance. What on earth is that? Spooky. People are laughing. And to think Charles wanted to be her tampon. That's the puke here. Bat wings on her head. OMG. Why do people put up with these demons? Alright, there's more comment. Let's move on. Another tweet making reference to that. Whew. They took a picture. This is a Photoshop. That's from Not My King. Oh, Lord. There's the battle. Exactly what I said. Best 2025 costume of Halloween. She looks like she's ready to snatch up and cook your children for dinner. Oh, Lord. How many bats can you see in this picture? Wow. 100%. There's another one here. What is that? Let me pause it. 100%. This is the best villain entrance ever recorded. I actually felt a chill. King Charles and Camilla. 39 seconds. Unfortunately, I have to put the screenshot in between, but it's in slow motion. I have a dramatic music to put with that. Every time I see Charles and Camilla, it reminds me, young women, don't change yourself for a guy. When you know what Charles had before, Princess Diana, and he preferred that. I've seen this British horror movie. There's that. I wonder who designed that. and thought it was a good idea. Have they been sacked? That is the worst effort so far. But remember, Charles wants to look good. Okay, this was the premises between him and Diana. Okay, they don't like people to overshadow them. So they turned her into that. Not turn her, but made her dress like that. Okay, I shall find it difficult to see Camilla in any other way after this occasion. Worryingly, the black outfit suits her. She looks ridiculous. Next tweet. Why are they wasting the Pope's time when they are going straight to hell? Oh Lord, 2 adulterers. 2, right? Let's pause here. Ain't enough Hail Marys in the world for them people, but Pope Francis probably left that detail out at an event that amounts to little more than a PR stunt, using a 500-year-old grudge over a Pope legitimately calling cap on an attempt to annul a 24-year-old marriage. Yeah, I was saying something like that on one of the videos about Henry the VIII. There's the laugh here. What a mess. That's an ad. Okay, whatever's on the screen, bottom up. I thought Halloween wasn't until next week. Maybe to confess and be absolved. I see she's wearing the devil's fascinator. Her stylist hates her. Maybe they will be together at the same place. I don't see Charles as an evil man, but the product of his upbringing, as we all are some extent. Okay, you don't see the evil in him? Wow. He's trying to do exactly everything with Camilla that he did with Diana. Same honeymoon, meeting the Pope, etc. Why is she dressed in black? Who is she dressed in mourning for? Her brother-in-law Andrew, or for her and her adulterer husband? Let me see here. Okay, it's a custom that women who have an audience with the Holy Father wear black except for the royal women of the Catholic faith, who are allowed to wear white. Okay, always thought that was very morbid. Wearing black, that is, and I say, is as credo Catholic, educated and raised into young adulthood. Okay, let's leave that alone. I think there's one more. This one. Only if they refuse to repent of their sins and trust in Jesus Christ alone for salvation, as long as God graces them with life, there is still hope that they do. Pray for them. The only thing I could say is baggage for God. That's it. Because if I pray for them, I would not be honest to God. So why bother? I just package all the sins that they have created and bond it up and bring it to God and say, deal with them. That's your thing. Do what you see best. Next tweet. I literally can't believe the state of Camilla. So she retweeted that. I can't laugh at the photo coming out of the Vatican because it's a holy place. I'm telling you, I think in one of the thing I posted on my community, and I was like, the squad will make you commit sins without even knowing. Alright, every time I see Camilla, I'm stunned that Charles chose this nasty classless creature over the kind, charming, beautiful, and elegant Diana. What I was just saying a few minutes ago. Alright, every time I see them together, I have to think, look what he left for this. It was very different, a bit on the Halloween side of public dress up. On what planet does that headdress thing look good? When you evil degenerate on the inside, I suppose you will have no choice but to match the outwear too. That is a hot ass mess. It looks ridiculous, stupid. Did Camilla think she need to wear feathers as crown? There's a laugh here. Hasn't she seen herself in the mirror? That bat out of hell. Alright. Let me go into the retweet here. What did other people say? Okay, I can't laugh at the photo coming out of the Vatican because it's a holy place. I remember putting this on my community board. Did you see this one? Other squaddies is encouraging other squaddies to be in a sand mode. Mona, why? Let me enjoy my blessing and peace, please. I'm not commenting. That's all of this. Let's move on. Next tweet. Okay. Why are they wasting the Pope's time when they are going straight to hell? Did I put that twice? to right, there's the La Fear, what a mess, and enough Hail Marys in the world for them people, but Pope Francis probably left that detail out at an event that amounts to little more than a PR stunt using a 500-year-old grudge over a Pope legitimately calling cap on an attempt to annul a 24-year-old marriage. Okay, so I covered that already. There's that. I'm joking. The squad or something. You could pause and read this just in case if I didn't read it on the first one. Okay, next tweet. Mystery solved. Is that the same? Look at, there's the Grim Reaper here. Grim Reaper passing in the back. Let's see if there's a music, then I'll fast forward it. Okay, I can. It's the same entrance again. Okay, there's no reason for me to, but there's this here. Phew, the internet have time. The APTS coming out of Vatican are wild. Who dressed Camilla in that Halloween costume? Then she consult with her mirror before going out in public and that get up. I don't know. This probably was prepared months, but she didn't look in the mirror. Nobody around them said anything. This is what happened when they get yes sirs people around them. Or maybe she's the one who wanted that for her. I don't know. The APTS comment. Okay, I read that. What is that thing she's got on her head? Are those black leaves? Yep. She beat melaloma for most ridiculous veil. She should have worn a hat. She's 3 sheets in the wind. LOL. The Grim Reaper, aka Cosmella. There's all of that. Jinx. This made me laugh. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. Alright, finally, a meeting of minds. The royal family and the Catholic Church both united by their unending commitment to protect pedophiles. Pretty much, yeah. Wow. Every time, I don't know why, I feel like you probably come to give him a warning, a scare thing. You better follow the tactic, because this Pope is, I believe he's American, and he has thrown some shade toward Trump. So sometimes when I see this type of photos, I feel like when they see something is against the narrative, the typical narrative that they had going on for centuries, I feel like he probably went and told him, you better follow the script. Oh my God, I don't know why. Okay, this is my opinion. Note to Camilla, at all costs, avoid the holy water. Okay, ouch. There's all of that. Jim Fix It. The Chuck and Bob Show. Black dress, black ties. Their business models identical. 100% accurate. Protecting themselves. Yeah. Yep. Alright, next tweet. I don't know why. I feel like Charles just went over there to tell him you better follow the blueprint. And when he went to France as well, that was the same thing. Follow the blueprint. And you see there's France collapsing right now. The same with the US. I don't report too much on it. You know, while I'm thinking, let me see let me just search on France, see what's going on politically. Let me see if there's anything. Okay, so what I type here is France Politics 2025. This was back in July 30th. You could pause and read. This is old, couple months ago, over the summer. And there's this, like 1 hour ago. Quote, if there is no chance by Monday, it's over, end quote. Oliver was warning to the government on BFM TV Pals pressure ahead of the 2025 budget battle. The socialist leader threatened to walk away. France vs. Politics. I believe it's in French. I'll let it play. Whoever's in France, whoever understands French could listen. Screenshot, ok?
Boris Vallaud, qui est le chef des députés socialistes, hier a lancé un véritable ultimatum au gouvernement sur la discussion budgétaire qui commence cet après-midi à 15h dans l'hémicycle.
Il y a eu un avertissement, y compris en commission des finances, qui a, depuis le début de la semaine, cherché à examiner le texte qui était proposé par le gouvernement. Et comme vous l'aurez noté, ce texte n'a pas trouvé de majorité. Et donc, il y a aujourd'hui, effectivement, une réalité, c'est que si dans les toutes prochaines heures, en gros jusqu'à lundi prochain, il n'y avait pas d'évolution sensible sur le texte, il n'y aurait aucune marge de manœuvre accordée donc sur le PLF et sur le PLF16, sur le budget de l'État et sur celui de la Sécurité sociale. Et donc, en réalité, ce serait terminé.
Alors
Et
attendez,
donc, on
pour
pourrait
que
pas-
celles et ceux qui nous regardent comprennent bien, ce que vous dites ce matin, et ce qu'a dit Boris Zazzle hier, c'est en clair, s'il n'y a pas de taxe Zuckman, s'il n'y a pas de retour de l'impôt de solidarité sur la fortune, s'il n'y a pas de mesures majeures avec des milliards à la clé sur la fiscalité des plus riches, il n'y aura pas de budget, vous ne voterez pas, et en plus vous ferez tomber le gouvernement, c'est bien ça?
Vous avez bien compris. Vous avez bien compris tout simplement parce que, alors, je veux quand même préciser les choses. Il ne s'agit pas de dire que nous serions des taxophiles. Le but n'est pas là. Mais simplement, il faut comprendre que nous examinons dans un premier temps la partie recette du budget. Si nous n'avons pas de recettes supplémentaires, nous ne pourrons pas corriger le reste de la copie qui viendra après. Et par exemple, moi, je ne voterai jamais, et je me battrai même contre un budget qui ferait les poches des retraités, des malades, des jeunes, des familles. Tout ça n'est pas supportable. On ne peut pas demander à toutes ces catégories-là de la population, aux classes populaires, aux classes moyennes, de continuer à faire des efforts quand les plus riches n'en font pas. Et ce que tout le monde doit comprendre, c'est que tout ce que les plus riches ne paieront pas, tous les autres auront à le payer. Et
I think they're talking about the population, the families, the youngs, and I understand little words here and there, but not fully. Whoever speaks French in the comment section, feel free to translate. All right. So there's issues. As I was listening to this guy talking, well, the whole video, I was thinking of Bojo's sister. All right. They
Boris
are,
Vallaud, qui est le
they are doing that thing. She gave us the warning about America and then France.
I find it hard to see who is the winner here. I mean, Prince Harry goading the press is only and forcing the press into humiliating payouts is not going to be particularly good for the Sussexes. And it's certainly not great for the press, which is on the hook. I think the total payouts for phone hacking and other illegal information gathering is up to $1 billion, and there are many, many more cases to try. So my point about all this is, I think we only have losers here, and it's in all our interests that we have a strong, vigorous, and honest press. And if it was strong, vigorous, and honest, I agree that the press would have reported more on the judgment, the Prince Harry judgment that came through on Friday, than it did. It was basically a broadcast story, far more than it was a print story. And of course, the print and broadcast are in competition, so you can sort of understand that. So my question is, who wins out of this? Has Prince Harry done the press lasting damage? Do you think that as a result of the judgment that went against Mirror Group newspapers, we're going to see some sort of state regulation of the press? I genuinely hope not. I don't want the press to be in the last chance saloon at all. I want to see newspapers thrive. This is my industry, and I think it's in all our interests that we have a thrive. And we've got the most wonderful newspapers in the world in this country. You read the newspapers in the States or in France, they're very dull. They're not entertaining at all. I think that we can have both a serious and an entertaining press. And that's what I want to see survive. I don't want to see Prince Harry destroy the industry I love.
And then what we're seeing here, both of them are collapsing in different ways. And then Chuck had gone to France, I think over the summer. All right. So I don't know what was said, but I always have my crazy suspicions. All right. Let's see here. Breaking: French lawmakers have toppled PM Francois Bayrou minority government, thrusting the country deeper into a political crisis that will force President Macron to name a fifth premier in less than 2 years. All right, so there's more of the here, but there's issues, there's problem in France as well. Okay, so that was a sidetrack. Now back to this. Maybe, yeah, I'll put it on the list. This is the next tweet. Back to Chuck and Camilla. Not finding an avenue where the Sussexes could have stayed in the fold was a fundamentally bad decision back in 2020. Knowing even small pieces of what we know the institution knew back then, it was a egregiously bad decision. Okay, so she retweeted this. William was too stupid not to open Pandora box, and now the men in gray suit are running around desperate to close it. Oops. Okay, I guess it's about the paper have said that when William is the one who wants Andrew out, I think, and about the title, removing the title. So yeah, they're putting all that on him. Charles know how to play the game. And I think him, Charles, and Camilla, I think they want to be the last monarch in the UK. And then everything that they're boiling people's anger into, they're shifting it to William, because William is desperate to have a W meaning a win, on his column, because he's competing with his brother when his brother is not even competing with him. So Charles was like, you know what, about the titles and all of that, shifted to William. And I think another thing is that why I think William probably want to remove Harry's title, the Sussex title, and whatever other thing. But Harry will always be a prince because he is the son of the monarch. Okay? So that is a giving, including with Prince Andrew. He will always be Prince Andrew because he is the son of former monarch, the Queen. Okay? But for William, why he wants to remove the other title, the Sussex title, the Kill, and whatever other titles Harry has, I think he wants to bestow the Sussex title into one of his kids. That's what I think. Because Harry and Meghan, the people, okay? The human being, the flesh living, breathing flesh and blood of a human being, Harry and Meghan, they make the Sussex name, title, that top quality. Okay? So William is always chasing the best. So I think he wants to remove the Sussex title away from Harry and Meghan, probably give it to one of his kids, or maybe keep it to himself, thinking that the same quality will be what it is if he is the Sussex. And I guess he will have to give the Prince of Wales away, or just want to accumulate, keep all those titles. But you can see the difference as well. All these are precedent, things that has happened. When Harry and Meghan left, they took some of the patronages away from Harry and Meghan. Either some of them keep it. I don't know what happened to some of the other patronages. But when Harry and Meghan were the face of whatever organization that they were patron of, they made the charity or the organization look good. So they remove it and they want it for themselves. Meanwhile, they kept it, accumulate all those patronages, but they're not doing anything with it. The quality of the name of that patronage or the organization have reduced because of their personality. The gold standard of them no longer there. But Harry and Meghan, whoever or whatever charity they support, they bring their gold stars along with it and they elevate that particular organization. So once his kids have the Sussexes name or title, whichever, or William's gonna keep it, it will depend on how the kid or William carry out. Okay? So they could accumulate as much as they want. It's not gonna be the same. Look how they reduce the quality, the name of Princess of Wales. Unlike when Princess Diana had it. You see the gold standard. And I think she will be the gold standard of Princess of Wales. This will be the gold standard. What anybody else who have, let's say in the future, who become Princess of Wales, they have Princess Diana to look up to. Okay? Because Princess Diana, Princess of Wales, is the gold standard of Princess of Wales. Look what the current Princess of Wales turned Princess of Wales into, the name itself. All right? She can even do a speech. We know Princess Diana, well, she took it upon herself. she wasn't satisfied with her performance and public speaking. She took it upon herself to do the work and become a better public speaker. That comes with the job. So future Princess of Wales has a blueprint of Princess Diana of what Princess of Wales should look like. But Kate has reduced the quality of Princess of Wales. So it doesn't matter if they take the Sussexes away from Harry and Meghan, the title. It doesn't matter. It depends on who holds that particular title and how they glorify or put the quality of it. All right. So I mumble too much. William was too stupid not to open Pandora's box, and now the men in gray suit are running around desperate to close it. Oops. I mean, men in gray suit as well, because they the one also who's guiding William. I understand William has the last word, but they the one who's creating the narrative of things. They probably themselves don't look at all the possibilities. If this happened, that will happen. But it's all of them, the blind leading the blind. Back then, they could have done these. They've been doing it. This is their way. This is their tactic. They've been doing it. But the problem is people are calling them out on their BS and they can't cope with it. This is where the problem is. Because young people, Gen Z, you see people on X, like myself, I'm doing those videos, we're calling them out on their BS. Well, I don't do a good job of calling them out, but just my opinion and clarify certain things. But there are other squad like JTB who's calling them out on their BS. So they can't really just throw nonsense out without there's a pushback, and they can't move to the next step because they have a map, they have a blueprint of what goes first, second, and third. So they stuck somewhere because their first narrative cannot move forward. Their number one goal was to trash Harry and Meghan. They went along, go along, and now as much as they trashing Harry and Meghan, they actually open people's eyes. They can't leave that alone. They can't move to the next level of whatever plan that they have because they can't convince people that Harry and Meghan are bad. Because each time they say their BS, people look into it and say, wait a second, you're telling me these Harry and Meghan are helping people, donating to charities, giving their own money, and do this, do that. You're telling me this is bad? So the men in gray suit with their narrative, they can't pass that part. So they could move to the next one. As they continue trashing Harry and Meghan, they're pretty much revealing themselves because their first step hit a brick wall. Okay? They can't pass it. So as much as they keep on talking, they're just revealing themselves. Okay, let's read some of the comments. A serious firm will have done a retention. You cannot lose key people. A serious firm will have anticipated that more details about Andrew will have eventually emerged and that the comparisons and the treatment of the princes will be inevitable. But you see what happened here? It's the same thing about the Queen's former secretary, who knew about all of this. He knew the Epstein thing was a problem. But because Charles and Andrew never faced any consequences, any punishment, they wanted to continue to do their stupidity. This is what happened when you have a yes sir in your corner, because they just let you do whatever you want. But that old secretary, private secretary to the Queen, was a no-nonsense person, will tell Andrew and Charles no to things that he sees will not benefit the crown. So Andrew and Charles had problem with that. So what they did, they override the Queen. They used their seniority title, privileges, to team up and get rid of that secretary. Instead, put their own yes sir type of secretary, Edward Young, to as the Queen's secretary. Meanwhile, in my view, in my humble opinion, in my home office, I believe it's Charles who was guiding that new secretary. Okay, tell him what to do, as while Andrew and him keep on doing whatever they want. They didn't have anyone to tell them no. There was none of that anymore. So this is why this is blowing completely. And then with the US as well, it's two things. I keep on repeating this. In the US, two things American will not let go is if you are a freaking animal abuser. Is if you are a freaking animal abuser, specifically dogs, and if you are hurting children, no matter which form, pedophile or physically hurting them or do all sort of things, they will not let this go. These are the two things. And this is what Americans are pissed about because of the Epstein thing. There were underage children. They will not let it go. If I'm not mistaken, that's a different story. Let me leave that alone. Okay? So this keeps on going out of proportion. The first private secretary to the Queen saw the problem. And it was preventing Andrew from continue his behavior. But Andrew did not like that. Okay? All right, let's see here. Even without having the details, it is clear that they have protected the one accused of sex crimes and punished the one married to a black woman. That too. And also, even though as I'm talking about that secretary who was telling Andrew and Charles no, and who was pretty much looking out for the crown, I mean, he was doing his job. That's what his job for. He was being paid for. But that doesn't mean I agree with him with certain things. All right, instead of cut this out, get it out the way, and, you know, I'm just saying as it is, okay? But that doesn't mean I agree with it. I'm just explaining how I see it. Okay, they really let Harry and Meghan get attacked in the press for the renovation on Frogmore Cottage while they knew damn well that the rapist among them wasn't even paying rent. These are not good people. And this is why I said as well, that of them paying for Frogmore, it pisses me off. And then Charles have the audacity to take the Frogmore away from them. Okay, so, you know, baggage for God, and God is rewarding them. Look at how well they're doing right now with their hard work. People are recognizing their hard work, so God is blessing them. The hubris of the firm, and thinking they had seen it up, so they didn't stand a chance outside. Hence the burger flipping memes. Yeah, I have those two memes where they show Harry working at McDonald's and Harry and Meghan are beggars. This is what they thought. That's what they wanted. But meanwhile, I think that few seconds, I call it few seconds, Meghan were Meghan and Harry were married and stayed in the UK, I think it was a test. God was testing them to see how they will jump that hurdle before God could give them what they have now. Okay? They didn't compromise their integrity. Okay? However, it's also provided cover for Andrew to attach him to Harry. People saw it. I mean, well-minded people saw it, what they were trying to do. Every negative things that they wanted to say about Andrew, they attached Harry to it. People were like, no, it's completely 360. And I'm so glad Harry keep his distance, even when he was, not married with to Meghan, but I think he kept his distance. He saw the nonsense that was going on. We need to thank God for that, for giving him that clarity to not partake in that mess. Because if Harry had, let's say even if it was one, they have one image of him doing something unethical, one of the things like Andrew, they will be using that over and over and over and over and over again till that mess is completely out of the news. Someone is up. But he was bright enough to stay away from that mess. Then act like working royal meant anything other than an arrangement of euphemism. Oh, I'm reading everything. Yes, but Andrew was the favorite prince of the monarch, but Harry is decidedly not. The thing as well, I mean, I know the squad have said so many things about the queen, and I've gave my other opinion. It's also the queen's fault. Just because you love your children, you can't just let them keep on doing things and hurting other people's children. This is the thing that I think sometimes when I think about it, and this branch, there's so many branches, but in this branch as aspect of him knowing that, yes, every parent should love their children, but at what cost? Why will you allow your son, your favorite son, allegedly, to hurt another mother's child? This is unfathomable. There are times when I'm walking on the street and I'm seeing, let's say, beggars, homeless person, and I'm thinking, how was their life when they were born? Were their parents so happy for them? The love, family. When there's a child is born in a family, the kind of happiness that there is in the household, especially if it was planned. And I'm seeing them on the street like that. Sometimes things like that cross my mind, and I pray for them. All right, but I don't have money sometimes to give, but I throw my prayers for them. Let's continue. But it all worked out for him, and he's surfing and eating great food and glowing married to the world's most beautiful woman. So there's that. Hush. Shh. The Lord works in mysterious ways. He saved them from the tsunami of scandal and abuse coming down the pike, and they are financially independent of that family. Bad decision for the firm, a blessing in disguise for Harry and Meghan. Yeah, we have to thank William for that, okay? Keep that in mind. We must always keep that in mind. We have to thank William for it. Next tweet. Okay, I spent too much time on this. All right. William wants to reshape the monarchy but reject any transparency regarding the finances of the Duchy of Cornwall. I don't know, using all that money to pay bats to do all these unethical things to go after his brother for positive coverage. Funny that supporters of both Charles and William claim they will reshape the monarchy, but neither decided to reshape their relationship with Prince Andrew until they were forced to. William is arguably more opaque than his father and grandmother. Doesn't exactly scream modernity. You know what? This is up to the UK. I'm just reading this, but it's up to the UK. It won't happen. Is there a trigger that if the monarchy collapses, the crown of state revert back to the monarch? There are centuries of conventions, statutes, on and on. It is far too complicated. It will take 10 to 15 years to understand, decades more to negotiate an exit plan. They better get to it soon, because the way the world is right now, and they're trying to blind the people while reality keep on happening. and then they fall onto the facade, the nonsense that they're paying people to blind. They fall into their own propaganda. Meanwhile, reality is still reality. They better do something now. This had happened before, around 2020, around between 2020 and 2021. I had raised that issues before, but what Parliament did, where they prevent people from protests. There was a thing that they put out because they saw they were getting close to get the monarchy out. They changed something within the law. Okay, about protesting. So eventually it will come back again because the firm refused to change their personality. Even let's say the system stays there, but individual royals do not want to change their ways of living, their way of life. But the thing will still continue. All right, so they better make peace now and come to an agreement with the people. Because once the people are angry, they come after them. There's no going back. What country is going to accept them? Okay, if there is nothing to hide, why is he hiding it? Fair question. William has always wanted to reshape the monarchy to the shape he personally wants, sort of like a certain president. The parallel between the US and Trump right now and the UK, I won't be surprised. Abolish the monarchy. Not acceptable regarding finances. Not a good look for William. Let's see here. I might be going to PYTE now. Let's see what this is about. The first video should have been on PYTE. So now we are on PYTE. It's only 7 seconds.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.